Hey, welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast, and we're talking free agency today. Um, the league official year actually doesn't start until tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I think, yeah, I think 4 o'clock tomorrow. That's when all the deals that you've been hearing about can be signed and made official. So really, if a guy wanted to, if he had a change of heart, or somebody got in his ear and said, "Hey, we'll give you a little bit more money than what the other team is giving you could actually lose a guy." They still got time to change their mind, but after tomorrow, at 4 o'clock, they can put pen to paper and make it official, and those guys will be signed, sealed, and delivered. Um, don't really don't have that much. You really don't never run into that much. I know even though the Steelers I think had a situation like that where I forget the guy's name, Tyson Lue, I think he signed with Jacksonville, and I think some of his teammates went over his house or something and talked him into it, and he reneged on his Jacksonville deal and came back to the Steelers. So it happens. It happens. But most of the time, I mean, that don't happen too much, especially with these guys with these big money deals. They're not messing those up. So my question is, are the Pittsburgh Steelers being aggressive enough for you? We usually are kind of the Steelers are kind of like one of those teams that sit back and really don't make any moves, and we see everybody else making, picking up players, and the Steelers kind of is waiting to, hey Christine, how you doing? The Steelers are kind of waiting to shop on the clearance rack. But this year it's not even like they really ain't gave out any big contracts, but they have been way more aggressive than what they usually are. Like I say, we're usually sitting back watching everybody else do business, and we're not doing anything. We're losing guys, but the Steelers never really been a big free agent spenders, and I really don't have a problem. I mean, as a fan, I gotta, I mean, like I say, as a fan, we want to see our team sign everybody, but I think for the most part, you need to build your team um, through the draft, but also you still need free agency to hit up a couple of areas, because you can't get everything in the draft. Just like in free agency, you can't get everything in free agency. So you got to have that balance. You got to have that balance between free agency and the draft. You know, as far as getting players, but that's just my thing. What you got there, Christine? She said yesterday was good, but they haven't done jack today. Yeah, my belief my belief right now is the guys that a lot of the guys that haven't signed already. I think a lot of these guys are going to be type guys that teams probably want to bring them into the facility and actually talk to them, get to know them a little bit. And I think some of these guys may have medical, and they want to probably make sure that their medical, everything is on the up and up, because there's still some guys out there that's going to get some pretty good deals. But I just think some of these guys that's left, um, they may have some medical questions that the team probably want to get a just a better look at. Uh, but other than that, it's been um it's been okay. I mean, I think actually I haven't confirmed it, but I think the Steelers signed a punter today. I think they signed the old punter back, Johnson, the guy that they actually signed a couple years ago, and he blew his knee out. He blew his knee out, I think, in the first game, So he missed that year, and then last year, him and Wakeman went through the punt off, I guess you could say, and he lost it, and the Steelers cut him. But I think they Cam Johnson. I think the Steelers signed him to a 1-year deal today, but I haven't confirmed it. But I thought I heard that. So, you know, hey, they're checking all the boxes. They're checking all the boxes. So let's get to this and let's see what the Steelers have done here. What Omar done? Is Omar? My question to the chat out there: Are you happy? Are you happy with the job Omar Khan is doing? Um, I think from a draft standpoint, um, you really can't be mad. You really can't be mad. Um, I thought he's his draft picks are been pretty solid. I mean, I guess Broderick Jones is probably the biggest. I guess you could say disappointment. It's just so it's kind of weird with him, but I guess you could say if Omar has a big miss right now, Broderick Jones probably would have to be that guy. But I think for the most part, I think he's done pretty not bad because you I think a draft if your GM is 60%, 65%, then he's doing real good. But 50, I think with the draft, you probably it's almost like a 50-50 thing. You're gonna hit on some. I mean, if you draft 8 guys and if 4 of those guys can get to second contracts, that's really not too bad there. What we got here? The best part of free agency so far was the Ravens losing Landerbaum and likely. I think Omar has been solid. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say Omar has been solid. He's been solid. Um, the one thing he's been able to spend money. He's been able to spend money, so that's one good that's one good thing. So, kind of what the Steelers did um yesterday. Samuel Jr. They bought him back. They bought him back. I think a 1-year deal, $4 million. So after we kind of got the information on that, it was a 1-year deal, $4 million, 2.785 guaranteed. Um, 5'10", 180 pounds. He's only 26 years old. He was a second round pick. Played for the Steelers last year. Only really basically played like the last half of the season. I don't even think not even really half the season. But that's a good move. The Steelers bought him back. I think right now he's probably going to be cornerback number 3. So that probably would mean that he's going to back up maybe both sides as far as Porter and Dean. So if any of those guys miss some time, Samuel will definitely slide into that position. And also, I think he's going to kind of be a slot corner. But even though the Steelers got a lot of work, they got a lot of working out to do with these corners because me personally, the way I see things going now, and then like I say, once the draft come and see who they draft, um, to me, Jalen Ramsey is getting pushed off this roster because you would say, because to me, at this point, Ramsey's not an outside corner anymore. I mean, now if you're in a pinch, he can do it, obviously, but to be a full-time starter, he's not that anymore. He's not that anymore. So some people will say put him in the slot. I can't see him checking because you know what type receivers are in the slot. And most of the receivers in the slot are small, fast, quick guys. And to me, that's Ramsey's problem. He's not fast anymore. So putting him in the slot, especially in the slot, And that's why you put the smaller guys in the slot because they're off the line, so you can't bump them. They're going to get a free release, and I just think Ramsey just can't. He just can't. He can't deal. He can't deal with all that speed anymore. So you kind of say he ain't a slot corner, but even though when you put him in the slot, he will give you run support. You can blitz him, and he does that stuff. I mean, he's a physical as far as the physical part. He's okay, but just running, he don't run very well anymore. And so Ramsey is kind of I don't know what the Steelers gonna do with him, especially for the money that he's making. That's gonna be very interesting of what they're gonna figure out and do with him. But um, I think he's slowly getting pushed off this roster. Like I say, he can move him back to free safety. Last year was his first year, so you got to kind of give him an excuse on some of the mistakes he was making. But he didn't play bad. He didn't play terrible. And for that to be his first year, um, you really can't complain too much. So is he that? I mean, to me, what he really is a box safety. He's a safety that you could put in the box and help run support, and he can cover tight ends. But it's just a weird situation that they're gonna have to work that out there. So we're gonna kind of figure out what they're gonna do here. I think Ramsey's gonna play big nickel. He's a good blitzer and run stopper. Yep. So they will have him in Eccles, Dean and JPJ and the Shanti will probably don't draft for corner early. Yeah. You may still get a first round corner. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I think a third round. I think actually in my last mock draft, I think I was able to get Muhammad from Texas with one of those third round picks. So I can still see them taking a corner um fairly early. Like I said, the third round, that's fairly early. Um because Dean is 29, Dean to be 30 in October. And I just don't like me personally. I'm kind of leery with corners when they hit the 3-0 mark. That's just seem like that's when they fall off, and most of the time it's a speed thing. And as you've seen in the combine, these receivers can run. I mean, I don't know how many of them can catch, but they can run. And when you get 30, that speed becomes an issue. So Steelers still need to get a young corner in there because like I say, Dean to be 30. Um Samuel, he only signed a 1-year deal, and this is still probably more of a prove it deal because that's a serious neck injury that he's coming back from. So I'm quite sure they still kind of leery about that. So what's up, Dwayne? How you doing, man? So that's going to be something the Steelers going to keep an eye on. But I think I think I still see the Steelers maybe using one of those third round picks and getting a corner, but I would say a first round corner is probably out the picture right now. I will agree with that. Let's see here what we got here. I think we might get a safety in the second or third, maybe AJ, excuse me, Haslam or Kamari Ramsey or Bud Clark. I like Bud Clark. I would love Thielman, but he won't be there at 21. He may be. He may be. Actually, I think that's probably about his wheelhouse, somewhere around in there. Um, from anywhere from 17 to the end of the first. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility he may be there. Because one of the things you're gonna have to do with the draft is you're gonna have to reset it. And I think probably probably in like in another week, once all the main signings are done and over with, you're gonna have to kind of look at what you're gonna have to kind of look at what all these teams has done, and you'll see it'll come to you. And the draft is probably gonna reset a little bit. Not much. I mean, you ain't gonna have a guy that was mocked to go in the top five, and now he's gonna be in the bottom third of the draft. You ain't gonna have guys dropping that much, but you may have guys dropping a couple of spots here and there because of what was done in free agency. Because right now, man, I mean, the Raiders have gotten everything they need except the quarterback, so they're definitely gonna go quarterback. But all the other things that they were kind of weak on, that they fixed everything. I mean, so like I say, free agency changes a lot, but I am glad that they actually do free agency before the draft, and that's a smart thing. Yeah, he is good. He's good, and I like I say, it's a possibility that he's right there for the Steelers, and it's just, but 21 is not too bad. It's not too bad. Some teams don't value a safety that high, especially a first round pick, but you never know. You never know. Um, we'll see. Now, I think the kid from Toledo, I think he's going to drop out the first round. I have a feeling he's gonna be an early second. He's gonna be an early second, but it's a possibility he may drop out the first round. Um, it's some things. Matter of fact, if you go to YouTube and and this is something I just picked up on. If you go to YouTube and watch his film, and I don't know if it's a nervous condition or what, but if you watch his film, he's the kid from Toledo, he's never ready to play. He's always messing with his helmet, messing with his mouthpiece. I mean, I just was just watching it, and I'm like, am I tripping? And I looked at some other film of him. If you watch it, he's always, it's been times the ball is snapped, and he's messing with his helmet and messing with his mouthpiece. So, I mean, that's something I guess you probably could coach out of him, but I don't know if that's just a nervous thing or if he got something going on. But you know, kind of weird, kind of weird. Yeah, the Raiders is throwing money around like they just hit the Powerball. Well, yeah, they have. Man, I'm telling you, the owner Davis, he's living the life. He's living it. I mean, he's the weirdest looking guy ever. But this dude and moved to Vegas and got all that dough because he was darn near bankrupt when he was in Oakland. And that was one of the reasons they moved to Vegas. But he ain't got all that dough. My man is living the life. He kind of like Bill Belichick. He got the 25-year-old girlfriend. He's life is good for him right now. So yeah, he's going forward. I know his dad is probably like, what the heck is this guy doing? But yeah, the Raiders have spent some big money. But hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it work for you, but a lot of times when you get that many free agents, and trying to build your team that way, it most of the time it don't work because all they end up causing is you got money problems, and you got to start cutting guys, and like in 2 or 3 years you got to start cutting guys, and but the window's gonna be open. The window's gonna be open for a quick run. So if they get that, then they'll be happy. So with that said, let's get back to this. Um, Now this is a total surprise here. I will admit I did not see this coming, and I'm not gonna act like I seen it coming. Um, actually, Holcomb, I had kind of forgot about. I had really forgot he was still on the team, but I definitely think the Steelers will be bringing him back. And as you can see, they brought him back. And that's just part of the staff. You know, the staff got a different thinking. Um, 6'1", 240 pounds, 29 years old. The one thing I will say when he plays, he's a tackling machine. When he played in a couple games this year, well, actually, he played in a lot of games. But I think he got a lot of his credit from special teams. But he had 37 tackles, one forced fumble. He got a 2-year, $5 million deal, only $625 guaranteed. So this is a signing that if it works, it's cool. But if he gets to camp, or if the Steelers bring in some other linebackers, it won't be nothing to maybe let him go. But I think what they're looking at, I mean, they need a thumper. They need a thumper, and that's what he ain't a big time thumper, but he's probably a more better tackler than Queen or Wilson. He's pretty much bigger than those guys. So um yeah, I didn't see this signing coming, and I haven't heard from anybody that was even thinking that this was a possibility. Um like I say, I thought he was gone. I didn't know if they had cut him or what, but hey, it's a good thing. Yeah. Yep. He provides depth, and you need depth. So good signing. Like I say, it's nothing that's gonna kill the team, or especially money wise. All right, this right here, man. I had to bring the confetti out for this. I had to bring the confetti out. And it wasn't even the fact that I think Michael Pittman is just going to be that good. It's just the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers actually have two legit wide receivers. They have a wide receiver too. Finally. I mean, I don't know what it was about. I ain't even gonna go if it was Mike Tomlin, or I don't even want to get into it. But the fact that we finally have a number 2 receiver is worth celebrating. I mean, I think I don't know. I had if I had that old bottle of wine still in the refrigerator, I would have cracked it open last night, because it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that it took this long to get a number 2 receiver. But now you got a 6'4", 223-pound, 28 years old. This is the thing I kind of like. He caught 80 balls for 784 yards, a 9.8 average, 7 touchdowns. So right there lets you know that he's running routes. He ain't just running straight down the field and catching bombs. He's working the chain, and that's what the Steelers need. They need a guy to work the chains. Like when it's 3rd and 6, I know he gonna get open. We got a guy that's gonna get open, and finally, Omar Khan finally. I think he finally realized that the game is really played with at least two or three receivers most of the time, not just one. I think he didn't figure it out. So this was a great trade. Really didn't cost the Steelers anything. It was just a pick swap. I think Steelers gave them a 6, and they gave the Steelers a 7th back. We signed him to a 3-year contract, $59 million. So almost $20 million a year. I don't know what the guarantee was, but this is going to be your wide receiver too. So, yes, Steeler Nation, we have a wide receiver too finally. It took a few years, but they finally figured it out, and we're moving into um how football is really played. Yeah, hey, yo, Omar coming. Yep, he's coming. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how he finish up. So this receiver room. So obviously you got Metcalf and you got Pittman as your number one and number two. Um, I'm figuring they're going to draft a receiver. I think they're going to go receiver in the second round. So that'll be three. Who else you got? You got I think they're gonna sign probably another veteran. That'll be four, and maybe draft another receiver. Later on in the draft, that'll be five, and you got Stronach. So that'll be six. So that's probably your receiver room right there. So you're probably looking at adding three more guys. Um, I'm gonna stick with it in the second round if the Steelers can get him. I like Zachariah. What's the kid's name? It ain't Brown. I forget the kid from Georgia. I forget what his last name is, but Branch. Yeah, Branch. I like Branch, and the reason I like him because he's a 4-3 guy. He can play the slot, and also he gives the Steelers something. Now, some of you old Steeler fans, y'all remember this guy. I mean, honestly, I would probably say the last punt returner, kick returner type guy the Steelers had that was worth anything was AB. AB was probably the best returner the Steelers had in a long time, but then when AB turned into AB, they pulled him away from doing that. But for all you old timers, y'all might remember Dwight Stone, the hands of Stone. I couldn't understand it. This dude could not catch a pass, but he could catch a kickoff. But I guess maybe because he was using his body. I don't know. But Dwight Stone could not catch it all, but he was fast. I mean, this dude probably ran a freaking 4-1, but could not catch a lick. So really, before AB, it was Dwight Stone. But the Steelers have not had a kick returner, but Branch can definitely give you that. And like I say, he can work the slot. He can be your kind of, I won't say so much your gadget guy, but if you want to do bubbles, you want to run jet sweep, just work the middle of the field, crossers, that's your guy. Because he's a sub 4-3 guy. Well, not a sub 4-3 guy, but he's quick. He's definitely a 4-3 guy. I think he ran a 4-3 at the combine. He's like 5'11", 180 pounds. So he's actually not as fast as Austin, but bigger, a little bigger, taller, a little bit more muscle on his body, and I would love to see Branch. So now, if you saying my three receivers, they're gonna play most of the game because the Steelers is going to keep three receivers out there. You got Metcalf on the outside, you got Pittman on the outside, and you got Branch in the slot. Now you doing something. Now you making some things happen. And as much as a lot of people don't want him back, Aaron Rodgers can work with that. Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers, we ain't gonna make this an Aaron Rodgers show, but Aaron Rodgers can still throw the ball, folks. He can still throw the ball. It's just a matter of protecting him. That's the one thing but the Steelers need to do this anyway, because when they do go with a younger guy, you still got to have their offensive line right. Now Rodgers will be able to help the line out a little bit because he's not going to hold on to the ball. He's going to read things much quicker than a younger quarterback, but you still got to protect him. So, the offensive line still got to get right. But just thank God that we got a number 2 receiver, man. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time that we probably. Who's been our last good number 2 receiver? Would it be Juju? Probably would be Juju. Juju is probably our last um good number 2 receiver. When you had Juju and Brown. I mean, that's crazy. Like wow. It's that's just diabolical. That was diabolical. And I don't know who was pulling those strings. I don't know if it's Omar, Mike Tomlin. I don't know. But we ain't gonna worry about it because it's over now. And hopefully we going in the right direction. All right. So they also picked up a starting corner, actually. Jamal Dean. Actually, when you go by the numbers, he was like the number 1 corner, rating wise. Big, nice size, good tackler. My only thing is, like I said, he will be 30 in October. He's 6'1", 206. 29 years old right now. 46 tackles, 3 interceptions, 9 pass defense, 2 forced fumbles, 1 pick six. Played for Tampa last year. Still assigned to a 3-year, $36.75 million contract, $12 million of that guaranteed. So he's gonna be your corner number 2, and he's gonna work on the other side of Porter. So another good move. Another good move by Omar. Like I say, me personally, I'm just a little leery of guys when they get to that 3-0 mark, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, it's not a contract that they're gonna be totally just locked into. So if it doesn't work out, they can get out of it quick. But I still see them going cornerback, definitely in the 3rd round. I still think a young quarterback, cornerback needs to be coming in here, getting groomed, and getting him ready to maybe take over in a year or 2 years. So we'll see. Christine, say what you got on there. I ain't angry about Dean. I don't like that he's almost 30. Yeah. I don't like that either. We paid him a lot when really his only really good year was last season. But it's a move and improve the team. So I'll take it. I get you. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like I say, I just have my belief. It was some other younger guys out there that me personally, I would have looked at before him. But you know, it ain't nothing that I can live with it. Long as he, hold up. So we'll see. We'll see if he hold up. Now, here go another this was a very interesting pickup here. And this was one of my this was one of my uh picks, kind of one of my sneaky picks that I seen that I thought may happen, and it did. Rico Dowell. I think the Steelers going to make him. He's going to be your number 1 running back. I think he's going to be RB1. I think what they're going to do with Warren is they're going to kind of make Warren the second running back, and he'll kind of do the game well. He'll take over that spot and be kind of be like the third down back. But I think the end of the day, um, they're gonna get about the same amount of carries. I don't think it's gonna be. I can see it being a situation where that Will probably can get, if he gets 20 carries, um, Warren maybe get 10 or 12. But Warren's gonna be more into the passing game, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think he's gonna be, RB1. And this does not bode well for Mr. Johnson. That means he's definitely the third running back, and he's headed to bust land. He's about to be a bust. Unless he leaves Pittsburgh and go somewhere else and get an opportunity. But it's gonna be tough sledding for him, because right now he's definitely gonna be the third back. But 5'11", 215 pounds, he runs with power. Age 27. Last year he had 236 attempts for 1,076 yards, 6 touchdowns, a 4.6 average. He caught 39 balls for another 297 yards, a 7.6 average with 1 touchdown. He played for Carolina last year, but he also played in Dallas for Mike McCartney. So this was an easy deal for him. They gave him a 2-year, $12.25 million contract. I don't know what the guarantees were. And I think he's going to be running back RB1. Him and Warren's making about the same amount. I think he's just making a little teeny weeny more than Warren, but for the most part, they're making the same amount of money. But but I think in the end of the day, this is a great 1-2 punch. And that's kind of what you need now, and that's what a lot of the teams are doing. They're most of them are doing the 1-2 punch combination now. So what Christine got here? I think it shows that poor Cable Johnson is going to be in the same situation as last year. Absolutely. And that's going to be on the bench. They'll give him a couple carries here and there, especially if they get in some games and Steelers are up big. They'll he'll get about 5 or 6 carries, but for the most part, he's gonna be fighting to get a helmet. He gonna be fighting to get a helmet, and his competition is gonna come because I don't know if the Steelers will draft a running back now, but they may still draft a running back, in the later rounds. They're definitely gonna bring in a free agent, undrafted free agent. So to me, that's where Johnson's competition is gonna be. He's gonna be competing with that guy, and if he mess around and lose out there, Johnson won't even be here next year. So that's gonna be something. But the only thing that's gonna save him, he's one of Omar Khan's picks. So it's gonna be hard for Omar to admit that he screwed up and cut a 3rd-round pick. So he's probably guaranteed to be here this year. But after that, you never know. But like I say, Johnson's gonna be fighting because this is going to be another running back. Like I say, they either going to grab one late in the draft, or they're definitely going to bring in a free agent, undrafted running back. So yeah, he got his work cut out for him. Let's see what we got here. Well, Caleb is a 3rd-round pick that Omar took and apparently wasted. I feel like Arthur Smith set him up for failure and destroyed his confidence early on. I agree with that too. That's true. Arthur Smith was diabolical. Um, the way he want to play offense, that's not even the NFL no more. That was like 15 years ago. What he's trying to do. So, um, Arthur Smith just he was terrible, and he's lucky, and I think that's probably respect for Tomlin that Aaron Rodgers didn't put him out on blast. I'm quite sure he probably wanted to, but he played the good soldier. He played the good soldier, but Aaron Rodgers was not happy with that offense, not happy with Arthur Smith, and so again, we're done and past that stuff. Tyrone say KJ will be he's gonna be he's gonna be number 3. But like I say, his competition is gonna be in camp with a rookie running back. But like I say, Omar is not gonna admit fault, not this quick. So a third round pick, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make the team just on that strength, and they will they will give him another shot. So he'll make the team. He'll make the team, but next year, this year coming up, may be his last year. So at the end of the day, how do you feel the Steelers did in free agency so far, day one? Do you feel like they're going to keep making moves? Like I still want a left tackle. There's a couple left tackles out there, and the one left tackle that I want, I'm actually surprised nobody signed him. Rasheed Walker from Green Bay, but I'm thinking he's gonna be making some trips. He's gonna be visiting people, so we'll see if the Steelers bring him in, and if they do bring him in, you got to bring him in and don't let him leave. Hold hostage until he signs a contract. But I think the Steelers need to still work on that left side of their offensive line. So either way, either you're gonna bring in a veteran left tackle and maybe go a young guard, or you're gonna bring in a veteran guard. Well, probably more than likely, because finding a rookie left tackle, that's gonna be kind of tough. So probably they're gonna bring in a veteran. They need to find a veteran left tackle, and then the guard, you may can go with a younger guy if you end up drafting one. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. What we got here? Christine said I would give them an overall B for the day for day one, and an F for today because they didn't do anything. Yeah, they making some calls and checking on some guys. And like I say, I think this next wave of guys, these gonna be the guys that's taking visits, and a lot of them, they just want to eyeball them. Some of the guys I think probably got some medical stuff that's going on. They want to make sure, but it's still some good talent out there. There's still some good talent out there. I don't think the Steelers got to worry about it, but the diabolical Kyler Murray is still out there. Now he talking about he might want to play baseball, and to me that'd be the best thing to do, because he can go play baseball and play that for the next 20 years and make big bread. I mean, them baseball, man, oh my God. You see them contracts them guys signing, man, that's crazy. Um, I'd do that all day instead of going out there in football and getting concussions every other week. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Trying to say, let's see what we got here. I give it A. It got a number 2, a wide receiver number 2 for 6. Got your DB number 2, running back number 2. Signed Samuel and Cole for cheap. Yeah, yeah, they did. That running back though, I'm gonna tell you now, that running back is gonna be running back. That's gonna be RB1. He's gonna start. He will start over Warren. Um, yeah, yeah. Hey, I agree with you. Go let him play baseball, and hopefully that's what he end up doing. Because he's a little bitty fella. That dude like 5'9", and we all cried about Russell Wilson couldn't see over the line and all. This dude definitely can't see over the line. Now he's a little bit more athletic than Russ, at this point in his career, but I don't want Murray. Um, he's not a. It seems like from all the reports, he's not a good teammate. Um, he's playing video games for money. I think. I think them guys play for some serious money on them games, and the team, the Cardinals basically just they turned against him, put all his business out there. So you know, I'm not a Kyler Murray fan, so I'm glad I'm glad he won't be coming to Pittsburgh. Yeah, he might. Oh my God! One if he does that, one if the Steelers was to sign him, then he's gonna pull a Dion and try to play for the Steelers and the Pirates, and try to do both. That'd really be diabolical. But that I don't want no parts of him. I would definitely take Aaron Rodgers, 44, 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers over Murray all day long. Now, if obviously the for for the long stretch, Murray would be the guy, but for a 1 year deal, I'm good. I'm good on him. So we'll figure out. We'll see what he does and go from there. What you think? I think A Rod with DK Pittman move D Wash gets two more receivers in the draft. Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, A Rod is our best option this season. Yeah, he is. He is. Um. Yep. 100% he is. But I'm telling you, my thing with Rodgers is okay. He's moody as hell, but as fans, we ain't got to deal with it. But yeah, he's moody. He want things done the way he want things done. But I'm telling you now, if you I put him up against any quarterback in the league right now throwing the ball. Yeah, now when it gets to running and moving out the pocket, yeah, he's very limited at that. But throwing the ball, reading defense, understand now he's playing in an offense that he probably know like the back of his hand. So it's not going to be a big adjustment for him. For the most part, um, hell, I can see him. Would you bring back Calvin Austin? If Calvin Austin doesn't get a deal and he's still floating out there in the next couple of weeks, would you bring him back for 1 year, $2 million? Would you do that and then make Calvin Austin? Well, obviously he probably he would have to come in and battle the rookie that they signed for number 3, but he definitely could be number 4. He's been through, Aaron Rodgers know him. Just a thought that if they would, if I would bring him back actually. If he's still out there in 3 more weeks and it don't seem like he gonna get a deal, I wouldn't have a problem bringing him back. Is the problem with Calvin Austin is the Steelers put him in a bad position. He wasn't a number 2. He was really I mean, I guess he could really be a number 3, especially the setup they have now with um with Pittman and Metcalf. Austin can be a number 3. It's just only problem is when you get your running game going, you got him in the slot. He ain't blocking nobody. That's the only problem with him. He's just a little bit too small. But um, you bring Austin back, that'll give you your punt returner. You'll have your punt returner, especially if you get Branch. So Austin can handle punts. Branch can do kickoffs because I don't really like putting rookies back there on punt return because that can be tricky sometimes with them guys. But yeah, but if you can bring Austin back cheap, I'll bring him back. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If he's still available late, sure, cheap, but want to get 2 in the draft. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I'm definitely getting 2 2 more receivers. What's up, Yolanda? Well, we got the Ravens in the house. We have the Ravens in the house. You guys got y'all got kind of hit up a little bit in free agency. You got the big guy on defense, but kind of lost a couple of guys on offense. How you feel about that, Yolanda? I know you weren't too happy about that. Um, let's see what we got here. Up until Rodgers, Calvin always played great, and he's a tough dude. Always like Calvin, and he would be good. He would work good with DK and Pittman. Yeah, I have no doubt, no doubt. I mean, hey, as much as we want to talk bad about him, Russell Wilson was making him a star. Russ was letting him cook. Russ was making Calvin look pretty good there. So it's just one of them things. We'll see, because I don't really think nobody gonna give him no big contract or nothing crazy. So it'll be something that the Steelers, especially at this point, he's probably gonna sign 2 years at the max, but probably a 1 year deal. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we got here. Curb Steelers need after day one is left. Hold up, we got this thing here ain't going right. I'm sorry here. What we just do here? There we go. Yep. Let's see here. Left side O line. Yep. 2 more wide receivers, safety, linebacker, nose tackle, and DB. Yep. So I haven't taken a nose tackle maybe in the 3rd round. I need to get a nose tackle in the 3rd round. We'll see if they're gonna get a quarterback in the 3rd round or they're gonna wait to the 4th round. We'll see how those guys drop. But yeah, they definitely gonna get 2 more receivers, and I would like to see 2 more in the draft. I would like to see them draft 2, and just see what they can do. What Yolanda got here? He wanted too much money. He reset the market for centers. I would have been okay paying him low 20s, but he got much more from the Ravens. That's true, man. 27, it was 27, I think. $27 million for a center is crazy. Me personally, I'd have moved him to guard. I'd be like, if I'm paying you that, man, we got to move you to guard. Yeah, I mean that, but center is an important spot, but that's crazy. So with that said, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Now you see what we gonna have coming up here in a few years was Zach Frazier. I mean, that's gonna be so. Right now, you can look at Zach Frazier. It's gonna be hard for him to make the Pro Bowl, so he won't have no Pro Bowls under his belt because you got Linderbaum and you got Creed Humphreys, so they kind of take up the Pro Bowl spots. So you can kind of hold that against him a little bit. That he won't make a Pro Bowl and he won't be a All Pro, but he's good. So he gonna see that. So if Linderbaum got 27, Frazier's definitely gonna want 20. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why you got to keep drafting guys on that offensive line because you just can't keep them all. So you're gonna have Frazier coming up for a contract. You're gonna have McCormick coming up for a contract. So right there, right off the rip, um, you could tell McCormick is walking. He's definitely walking. They ain't bringing him back. So we gonna be we can laugh at the Ravens right now, but we about to be in that same situation, and that'll be 27. Yeah, 27 to be his last year. So next year, the Steelers will be in that situation with Frazier, and after seeing what Linderbaum did, he's you know Frazier gonna be every bit of 20, 21, somewhere around in there. So we will see what they got going on, but it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Yolanda, with that. But like I say, we got some guys that we got to pay. We got some guys we got to pay. Um, Porter is about to be $100 million man. Herbig is that's gonna be very interesting right here. Um, JPJ Herbig Darnell needs paid this offseason. You absolutely right. Washington won't be a problem because Washington ain't gonna break the bank. But them first two guys, Porter is getting $100 million contract. Uh, Herbig, um, that's gonna be interesting because that's a lot of money that you're gonna have locked up in that edge with the edges. Um, Herbig could get traded. He could get traded because um, I'm quite sure he's not going. He's going to be a holdout um, possibility this summer if they don't get nothing done. So that Herbig situation may get a little ugly. Actually, that may get a little ugly for the Steelers. So we'll have to keep our eye on that and figure that out. But yeah, that's the thing. When you get all these young guys, it's just it comes time to pay them. It comes time to pay them, and you got to make decisions. You got to make decisions, and like I say, with that linebacker, with that offensive line, you got to just keep adding pieces because there's gonna be guys that you got to let go, and I think McCormick is gonna be a guy that you just gonna have to say, we might have to just let him go and but that's why you got to keep getting guys and filling them in because you got Fontano. Oh my God, you got to pay him. Now the Steelers do got a little time with him because they had the 5th-year option on him, but man, it's the offensive line gonna get expensive real quick. So it's it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. What are we talking about? We talking about boyfriends. What we got going on over here in the chat? Y'all talking about boyfriends. Um, what we got here? Rob O'Hyde. McCormick won't command a huge salary, so he should be easy to resign if they want to keep him. Frazier is going to be a very wealthy man. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, McCormick, he has a good, decent year. He see what these guys are making. And then something else. The problem of it is the and I don't know why the NFL won't fix it. I think like with the franchise tag and all that stuff, all the linemen are bunched up into one deal. Like they didn't separate it. Left tackle, right tackle, centers, guards. They're all bunched up in one deal. So there, if you franchise a lineman, I think it's they take they're all in one pot. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So like I say, the Steelers gonna have to figure out. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do because I'm quite sure Frazier he sees that with what you call sign for, and he's probably gonna say, hey, if he got 27, hey, I can get 20. Then you talking that's 2 more years, so that's the price are just gonna go up automatically. So shoot, he Frazier might say, hey, I need like I say, he won't have the Pro Bowls or the All Pros, but by the time he might say, I need 24. I need 24 big ones. So we'll see. We'll deal with that when it's time. But they're gonna have a question there. What we got here? Question: if Rodgers returned next year, do you think? Uh-uh. Do you think he wants a rookie wide receiver or a proven vet receiver during free agency? Aaron Rodgers hate rookies. So what that deal would be, is you know, like I say, more than likely if the Steelers draft a receiver high, he's gonna be the slot receiver. So that'll kind of change it a little bit. Because that guy won't be on the field as much as the other two. But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, and Aaron Rodgers is not gonna have he's not gonna have no patience with no young receiver. He's probably gonna give him just a couple of chances, and if you got a guy that can catch on and he's doing what he got to do, it won't be a problem. But the first time he makes a mistake, first time he turns the wrong way or something, Aaron Rodgers is going to be all over him. So, um, yeah, that could be somewhat of an issue. But like I say, more than likely, the receiver that the Steelers draft, he's going to be a slot guy, so he won't be counted on as much as the other two. Um, my thing is now is what the Steelers probably what Rodgers probably going to do is DK. DK lives in LA. Rodgers is somewhere in California. Who knows where? In some cave or some mountain. Who knows where he's at? But he's in California somewhere. Pittman, he's a California guy, and I don't know if he lives in California, but um, he went to USC, so he's probably a LA guy, and I can see those guys probably starting to work out here shortly, and getting some work done between them. Um, the thing with Rodgers, you know, he now when he's gonna sign, who knows? He's probably gonna let the Steelers make all their moves, and then once they make all their moves, then they'll see what money's left, and Rodgers will take the rest of that because at this point it ain't a money thing for him. It ain't a money thing. So that's one good thing. So he wants them to make all the moves that they can make, give him all the weapons, and get that line, as stout as they can. So who knows when he's actually going to sign? Well, we know he'll be signed by June because he'll be in for mandatory camp. But Rodgers ain't coming in until mandatory camp because, for one thing, he's 43 years old, so he already figured out. I'm not throwing all these passes in the in the off season, which makes sense. So he's going to let the young guys, especially if the Steelers draft a quarterback, he's going to let the young guys handle the. I mean, obviously he wouldn't be there for the rookie mini camp anyway, but the other little mini camps, he going to let the young guys handle all that and let them learn the offense and let the young receivers learn the offense. I'm quite sure he'll bring those guys in every so often, and they'll have a passing camp out there in California somewhere, and that's what he's going to do. And then come June, when it's mandatory mini camp, Rodgers will be here. He'll be there for that, and then going into training camp. So, I mean, I don't even get upset about it. I don't even get, a lot of people say he's holding us hostage and all. Nah, not really. He ain't. Like I say, he's sitting back. What he's doing is kind of holding the Steelers' feet to the fire of kind of, he probably committed to them and let them know that he's coming back, but also kind of let them know, hey, if y'all ain't making no moves and y'all ain't getting this offense together and doing what y'all should be doing, I ain't coming back. Then now you stuck. You're gonna be stuck like Chuck with no quarterback. So Rodgers ain't no, hey, Aaron Rodgers is a very, very smart guy. He ain't no dummy. So he know exactly what he's doing. Um, like I say, it ain't even a money thing. I think it'll be more like 1 year, 15 million. And then they'll put some incentives on there, for playoff wins and Super Bowl and all that type of stuff. So, um, I think at this point he's just gonna let the Steelers make all the moves they need to make, and as long as he feels like they're making the right moves and giving him weapons, Rodgers will be in. So, I told the Yenzies the other day to calm down. Don't let Rodgers get up under your skin. That's all it is. He's a troller. He's a troller, and he know he can troll people, and that's what he's doing. So I don't let it bother me. He'll be there in time, and you know it'll be okay. It'll be okay. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Wait. Oh man. So what we got going on here? Um PQ was traded. That's something that just happened. What's going on? I didn't hear that one. I did not hear that one. But you know, is it Dallas? Hmm. We'll see. If Queen does get traded, um, I can see Mr. Rodriguez from Texas Tech coming in here because we have his um we have his position coach as the offense as the off the inside linebackers coach. No. I think he's coaching the edges. So we'll see. We'll see. So with that said, that's pretty much a wrap on the Steelers as far as day one. Day two was kind of slow motion. They did sign a punter. So we got a punter. We got our old punter back, our old but new punter. So that's about all that was happening. I think tomorrow you probably gonna see more guys taking visits. And for the most part, wherever a player visit, that's probably where you're going to sign because more than likely, them teams not going to let them leave until they sign a contract. Yep, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't let Rodgers get under your skin. I'm not worried or upset about Rodgers. Whoever the quarterback is this year, they are only a placeholder until we draft one in the first round in 2027. Yeah, that's true. But again, I'm not even getting into that. All these quarterbacks coming out next year. Who knows? Like, uh, man, these guys trying to stay in college 7 years. So you just never know. I mean, because some guys they're gonna have good years and they gonna come out. Somebody is not gonna have that good of a year, and they're gonna decide to stay in college, and all kinds of diabolical messes going on. And like I say, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The thing with the Steelers are not a team. They're not an organization that's gonna try and say, "Hey, we got these quarterbacks coming out. We need to get a quarterback. We gonna kind of stay, win about 5 or 6 games, have a bad year, so give us a better chance to get no. If the Pittsburgh Steelers can, they're gonna win 14 games next year if they can. So they that's their belief. That's their belief. They're never going to tank. Um, the Art Rooney came out and said it in his press conference that he don't believe in that. Steelers don't believe in that. So it's going to be hard for Pittsburgh to even get one of those quarterbacks, especially if you're trying to say you got to get in the top five or the top 10. That's going to be hard because at the end of the day, the Steelers are going to be right where they're at, around 21, 24, 25. That's where they're going to pick at. And that's just going to be a hard deal to get done. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but that's a long ways away. So until then, you guys take care. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being in the chat, and I will talk to you guys later. Check us out tomorrow. We'll be on Smash the Gas on the Know It Alls network. So we're gonna have we'll see what Big G talking about. Big G probably it ain't been too much for him to crash out. So he ain't on crash out alert. But we'll see what Big G is talking about and what type of philosophy he got going on, and he's gonna tell y'all what the Steelers are trying to do and all that stuff. So until then, you guys take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye bye.